Hi, and welcome to Radio Memories, where we usually talk about radio's past. Today, it's a special show, a special presentation of Radio Memories. We're going to be talking about radio's present and possibly radio's future. Mark Elliott of Mark Elliott Media joins us here on May 20th, 2023 to discuss his favorite subject, artificial intelligence. Mark, thanks for getting up this early. And has AI invaded your life?
It has become my life.
Well, that's pretty much become
in a very quick way. In a very quick way. I went to the NAB in 2022 and saw some demonstrations, and I thought, well, this is interesting, but I need to know more. Didn't really hear a whole lot about it. NAB this year, I didn't go, but everybody that I've talked to, it becomes an instant conversation, just like when you and I talk. With this, it's different in that if you don't keep up with it, what you read about AI yesterday completely changes by the next day.
Sure.
So I try to read something about AI every single day, just to stay up on it, because what I read yesterday no longer applies. This is what applies now, or there's something new. Last night I read a piece where they're saying that the people who designed AI gave it boundaries. Well, AI is already trying to figure out how to go past those boundaries and has done it. And this is why people are concerned, because it teaches itself.
I just want to play a little clip of Justine Bateman. She's a former actress from the TV show Family Ties. Right. Don't know if you remember that show.
Sure do. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, she was on one of our local television shows here. Well, you're here in Southern California as well, Mark. KTLA Channel 5.
Right.
And she was on with our entertainment reporter, the entertainment reporter on Channel 5, Sam Rubin, and she discussed this.
All of our scripts, our films, all these actors' performances, all of this. So it's a regurgitation, it's an amalgamation. You give it a task, and it spits out some new product that's based on all of our past work. The AMPTP, which is the collection of studios and streamers and all this that are bargaining together, they refused to engage with the Writers Guild of America about AI at all, which is beyond extremely troubling. It means they are not only going to use it, but they're already planning on using it. The studios, the streamers in particular, are the most profitable. They're some of the biggest companies in the world, not in entertainment, in the world. And I believe this is coming for every single, I've heard of paralegals being replaced by ChatGPT. I've heard of medical research students being just not included anymore because ChatGPT can handle it. AI is being used for greed. Voice actors and visual actors are being asked to sign away in their contracts. And there's some actors who are volunteering for this. They're going and getting the voiceover actors, getting their voice sampled so that the agent can book them, double, triple, quadruple book them on voiceover jobs.
I was reading in Variety that Tom Hanks just made a statement on one of somebody's podcast that, it's amazing. I could be hit by a bus tomorrow and they could still continue to make movies.
Yeah.
With me in them.
Well, Forrest Gump 37, Jenny's back.
He also pointed out that, in the new Raiders of the Lost Ark movies, they Harrison Ford is made to look as young as he did way back when the first movie came out.
Well, I say, give me some of that. I'd like to have some of that right now. If you've got,
I would too. If we could actually, but that's what artificial intelligence is able to do. Actually, they won't even need these actors. They can soon pass away, as he pointed out.
Yeah.
But as Justine Bateman pointed out, voiceover actors, voiceover people in general, are so desperate at this point that they're signing away the rights to their voice.
You have to be strong and everybody hold out, but you're always going to have somebody who's like, no, I'm going to get while the getting's good. So everybody kind of jumps ship and, gives up a lot of their rights. And I think that's a shame, but that falls into that fear.
But if we've gone to the extreme with artificial intelligence thus far, as she points out, they're doing away with paralegals. Why use paralegals when you have ChatGPT, or why have any of these people that are unnecessary now? Okay, why do we need script writers? For that same reason, why do you need VO people? And this is what I want. I want your opinion. Do I think that artificial intelligence will inundate radio as it is currently in its current status? Absolutely. Absolutely. I see this as owners seeing light at the end of the tunnel. Oh my goodness, we can do away with people and we can still sound like we have people on the air.
Well, I think that's true. I think you're going to see AI improve over time. Now it sounds kind of clunky. It sounds kind of as you would expect a robot for AI to sound.
Mark, you as a consultant in the last 10, 15, maybe 20 years, disc jockeys have started to sound clunky. We don't, radio announcers have lost their sense of timing, their sense of rhythm, their sense of creative ways of talking over songs. And because they say people don't want that, they just want you to talk like a regular human being. Well, you turn on the radio now and you hear somebody that doesn't have a personality, and they just sound like, well, here's Def Leppard.
Okay, wait a minute. Is that AI or is that you? I can't tell.
And nobody can.
Yeah, but here's
whether you have an AI, artificial intelligence doing your jocks, your VOs, or what have you, your promos, or just a regular person, how can you tell now?
I mean, that's the point. I think you're always going to have ownership that will look at this and say this is a way to reduce, head count, save money, look good at the bottom line. Then you're going to have others who will look at it and say, well, we'll program around that and put personality back on the radio. Radio's always been an intimate vehicle. It's been a one-on-one medium between you and I talking right now. When you're on the air, we always, said you're talking to one person, even though you might have 50,000 people listening at one time, you're speaking to one person.
Sure.
What AI will never do is replace warmth, has no emotion, and they can try to fake it as much as they want, and maybe they will. Good luck. But it will never go out and interact with people. It'll never be that
sadly,
that friend of the community.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, 110%. But at this point, you don't have radio stations localizing in that fashion anymore, at least in the major markets. When there was a time when you would go out and do live remotes, when you would do van hits or promotional appearances, that's long gone. Or they're few and far between.
I agree with that.
Radio doesn't actually rely on that anymore. They don't even utilize, and they should.
They should, Sky. I mean, you take today's technology, and it's fabulous. It's allows you to do mega things.
Yes.
You can do a lot of things with fewer people. Yeah. But at least you have 168 hours in a week. You have a wasteland of radio stations that have no jocks at all on the air, or they're voice tracked. So I'm saying, and what I've written in the past couple of weeks is, what makes sense to me is in those key day parts that are still live or maybe syndicated, make sure you're still doing that. And put some of the AI in place where you have no jocks, it can localize your radio station. Now you've got something there that you didn't have, and see how it works. Instead of going, diving into the deep end of the pool on this, maybe you test it out. You take one of your weakest stations in your cluster, you put it on there, and you see how it does. The more technology has eliminated people in our industry, in radio, listenership has gone away. People have looked for other ways to seek out their entertainment.
Sure.
I listened to, streamed a lot of radio stations this week, and I made a point on my Facebook page saying, when did being a radio personality turn into being a traffic cop? I'm hearing people, here's how you listen here, here's how you go here, go to this Facebook page, do this, do that. Yeah. And it's like, man, when I turn on the radio, just give me something that teach me something, make me laugh, make me cry, make me want to punch the radio, do something to hit my emotion.
Evoke some kind of emotion like radio used to.
Nobody's evoking emotion anymore. So the point being is that radio personalities should be the clowns in the circus, not the person working the information booth telling people where to go see the bearded lady or the yak woman or whatever. and get your weight guessed. You know, personalities entertain. Let the personalities entertain. Let your imaging be the traffic cop.
That's right. And which all you hear on the air now is promotions to go to some type of digital platform.
I think you have to look at AI as a game changer and study it and move with it. As you know, there are certain times within every decade where our industry either gets attacked by a piece of technology or we utilize that technology to, you know, improve our product. You know, radio's been very aggressive in cutting people since 1996 with the Telecommunications Act that happened and consolidation. People made a boatload of money, then they left us high and dry. And this is what we're dealing with today. But I think you have to look at AI as a game changer. And instead of fearing it, find a way to play the game with AI. Because it is a game changer. And it's going to improve. It's probably in its infancy and in its worst possible form right now. You know, 1985, how many different choices did we have? Today, there are hundreds of ways to go get entertained. Podcasting has exploded. I just got a piece of research back this morning talking about how people, what kind of podcasts to listen to. I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But, you know, you can go to markelliottmedia.com. Do a blog and newsletter that brings attention to this. I just added a section for AI and digital specifically for that, because again, it's the hot topic. It's what everybody's concerned about. Not everybody has time to read all of these things. But as time goes on, you know, keeping up with all this stuff's like driving 100 miles an hour, getting a flat tire and having to get out and change it while you're moving. You know, it's tough to keep up on all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And what I will tell American radio companies, it's what's coming for you is coming from Europe. Whether you're so far advanced with DAB and DAB+, and we're still hanging on to AM, FM radio here, that's fine. But you got to get in the digital space. And you got to look beyond the norms, because there are companies that are doing some magnificent things that are not American companies, that American companies are trying to catch up on.
Yeah.
Because what I can tell you by talking to people in Switzerland and Germany and the UK, they are just amazed by how far behind the United States is in regards to digital and digital revenue and things like that. No, I'm not in those countries to hear it for myself. I have to take what they're telling me as being, you know, the gospel, the truth.
Sure.
So there's probably, I always look at things and say, well, there's probably some embellishing going on here. You know, but somewhere in the middle is always the truth. Just look at AI as being something that can enhance your career, and look for those options as opposed to say it's attacking me. It's attacking me. Like Justine, I mean, I get the fear that goes with this, but if you don't learn how to go on the offense with it and how to, you know, build your career around it, that's where we're going.
Mark Elliott. Media.com. He is a consultant, and I wanted to get his thoughts on AI. I'm glad you had time to join us this morning. I know you're a busy guy and you've got your business to run. Thank you for your thoughts on AI.
Sky, anytime. Anytime. It's always great to hang out with you.
We'll talk again as this progresses and we see where it goes. But I certainly appreciate your time. Mark Elliott, markelliottmedia.com. Thanks for this quick conversation about AI. Radio.